Welcome to Vibe Tribe session part 2 for 419. I got a couple last minute questions, and honestly that other video was like an hour, and I was like, we need to do part 2. And I got some dinner, my tummy's full. So let's go again. I went ahead and pulled out my Green Witches Oracle deck. Just to switch it up, and who knows, maybe it's because these cards will resonate better for these couple of questions. So got another sneaky one down in here. Make sure you get them all. Every card gets an equal chance. All right, so I clear these cards to walk in the light and to channel truth. Pray that I will be able to say what it is that I need to say. And yeah, I like this one. It's the Harvest card about determination and hard work. So whoever needs to hear that you cannot harvest what you have not done the work for. So if some of you are like, man, it's not working out for me. Well, what the hell? What seeds have you planted? Does that make sense? So if you didn't plant, don't expect to harvest. So I don't know who that's for, but apparently that card had to say something. So okay, so I recently have stopped running in directions and more centered myself. But that hasn't stopped people from trying to pull me in their direction. What do the spirit guides have to say about that? First of all, what I have to say is I have a freaking bug bite on my ankle that's driving me crazy right now. So I apologize. Yeah, let's all get on this video and watch me scratch my ankle. Yay. Oh, it's touching. Anyways. Okay. So what's interesting is you've stopped running in multiple directions and more centered, but that hasn't stopped people from trying to pull you in their direction. But that's the thing. Like, first of all, just because you've stopped having people, just because you've stopped running in all directions, doesn't mean that people aren't always going to try to pull you off your path. That's just the story of life. So what boundaries do you have? It's almost as if I want to say, when someone tries to pull you off your path, they're only successful if you don't have a plan in place that keeps you from not coming off your path. But if you do go off the path, how do you recenter yourself? Listen, that happens to me, often. And so you kind of have to sometimes not be around people that are going to pull you off your path or distract your energy. A lot of people know that I'm a reader. But that doesn't mean I hide necessarily from people unless I'm doing a reading. It just means be aware that you're going to be asked questions when you're out and about, and make sure that my energy is grounded to myself first before I'm even in those situations, because that can pull me in 700 different directions as well. But not just as a reader, just like as a human being. Okay, so let's find out what it is that's mostly trying to pull you out of your direction. Well, that literally just fell right out. Mushrooms. Are you doing shrooms? Oh, it looks like it's not just about the mushroom, although it's super cute. Underneath it talks about recycling and breaking down problems. Okay. But it's upside down. So what you've done is you've stopped running in all directions where you are trying to be fix-it Felix, trying to help everybody else be good. So that is a wonderful thing. So you're getting a very good congratulations there. But now, what is the theme, I think, of what people generally are trying to pull you into their direction for? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering if there's a theme, if there's a teaching moment here on a specific theme. So can I see that? Okay, here we go. So there are good directions to remember. This is rosemary, and underneath it says remembrance, loyalty, and faithfulness. So some of the directions that you're being pulled in, you actually have to answer the call because it's about loyalty, commitments, things that you have agreed to do, roots. But it's not about correcting people's healthy patterns or their growth. See, this is upside down, right? So it's upside down. It's what's not happening. So I guess you need to stop trying to help other people find their roots. So when you're being pulled in their direction, it's because you used to be a stability piece for them and now you're not. And it's almost like they're being uprooted by your pulling off, and they're freaking the hell out. So you have to have boundaries to say, this is not my hill to die on, this is your hill, and I can encourage you through it, but I'm not going to climb it for you anymore. Does that make sense? So make sure that you are pulling yourself in the direction of your obligations, but also knowing what's truly your obligation and what's really their role. And the more you're able to split hairs on that, you're going to be not pulled out of alignment as often as you normally are. Okay, so that's good. And then we have the moth, but it's upside down. So it's almost as if it says mystery, concealment, and illusion. It's just, you're not buying into people's bullshit anymore. You're not buying into their it's almost as if they're hiding stuff. So you're being more selective with how fast you help someone react, all those different things, because they aren't necessarily revealing. It's almost as if it's this illusion and concealment. So they are not what they say they are. So it's almost like before you help someone, you need to pause to check the sincerity, get more information. So again, I think you're learning when to be pulled into their direction and when being pulled into their direction is out of alignment for you. Yeah. And then this one fell in the shadow, which is the unseen. Okay. And it's fruit, you know, like the fruit of someone's labor, but it was hidden and upside down, which means it says fruit, achievement, and success upside down, face down, which is a hidden truth when it's face down, meaning that if you don't do these things, you're not going to have achievement and success. So the full read today is about having more like a litmus test, more of like a filter around whether or not you allow someone to pull you out of the direction that you're going and being pulled into their direction. That sometimes it's needed for you, and sometimes it's just because they literally don't want to do the work. Like they are literally being, you know, again, uprooted. Okay, you can see that. They are being literally uprooted by you not stepping up or showing up. But not stepping up is what you're not, is exactly what you're supposed to do, is not step up. Step up for yourself, but not for them. Because if their stability and their root structure is you, then they're not really stable and they're not really doing the work. So I think you need to have a more internal read compass to say, just because I can doesn't mean I should, and to kind of have boundaries and, you know, deciding factors as to how you're going to do that. So hopefully that helps. Okay, another anonymous question is literally, how is my love life going? Well, all lives are going. Are we asking, is it going in a positive direction? Is it going in a negative direction? Because love lives are always going. But if I were to sit in the energy of this, the question is my love life worth fighting for, worth keeping, worth maintaining? Okay. Time. That's really funny because it's the spice time. I'm not necessarily saying give it time, but time, it says underneath presence and self-awareness. So honestly, the first thing I want to say is time reveals all. That's what's coming through. Altar. Gratitude, releasing burdens. A love life can be going really, really well if we know what we can be grateful for in the relationship, and if we are able to leave our burdens on the altar. Can you share your burdens with the other person? The burden of work, is it accepted? Is it an acceptable offering? Because, you know, an altar is a place where you lay your offerings, your heart. So are you putting your gratitude on the altar? Do you appreciate your love life? And are you in a love life where you can literally lay down your sword, lay down your burdens, and feel like you're in a safe space? And then this is the broom. This is energy clearing and freshening. So your love life definitely needs some perspective changes and some new energy clearing, freshening. And that takes two people. So if you feel that you're willing to give it time and be self-aware, you're able to acknowledge the things that you're grateful for in the relationship, you feel safe enough in your space to let go, then sometimes it's just about true fresh starts. Is that possible for you? Sometimes we can't unsee things. Sometimes we can't unhear things. I do want to pull from my healing deck to see what exactly is the broom sweeping, the refreshing. What does this love life's healing mostly need, please? What type of healing? Okay, everything. No, it can't be that messed up. That's a lot. That's a lot that fell. If I'm going to request, the cards will have to explode twice for me to honor it, because that was just, no, everything. No. Just listen for it. Oh, see that one. Sexuality. The sexuality needs to be healed, and it was decide. So are we decided on who our partner is in this relationship? Are we feeling close enough to that person, or is this person being more close to another person or energy? So I'm not going to say exactly what this means, other than it landed on its side. So we need to piss on the pot or get off. Can we be intimate with this person or intimate with that person? So it looks like there's a divided energy of sexuality going on. Get more information on that. It's like there's a shared energy of sexuality that might actually be getting in the way of this relationship. Let's see, can I get more information on why the sexuality card fell in that way. Again, I make them have to fall out of my hands upside down. Oh, love. Love is there's love missing. It's upside down. It's in the shadow. Someone is there for love and someone is there for duty and obligation. Doesn't mean that it can't. I get more, please. I hate readings like this, but I appreciate the trust that I'm given. Please speak to me in the light. What is going on? Show me more, please. I still feel to stay on this deck because I have other decks. Anytime I'm sitting in an energy. Okay, self-sabotage. This marriage, it's like the relationship was sabotaged. So someone made choices about their sexuality and choices on who they love and literally self-sabotage this. What I want to know is, can this be repaired to a level of trust? Or is that most likely? Because I guess anybody can. What's the most likely outcome? Please. That threw right out. That literally threw right out. You guys, that have faith. You both have to reinvest and have faith in each other. I have to have faith. There's nothing's promised, nothing is guaranteed. And then we have the master number 22, which is a master builder energy. It is going to take massive work to get this back, and it takes time, because trust, saying, okay, going forward, I now trust you. I mean, those are just words. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take consistency. So, but both parties have to learn to trust again. It can't be consequences. Well, because now you can't be trusted, I have to, know where you are at any given time, because that's not trust. That's not trust. The hyper check-ins, that's not trust. You literally have to go back to zero and just say, it is what it is, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But that's easier said than done. So for the person that asked this question, what is their part in all of this? It's a lot of cards that fell. It was too many. Again, I'm not. Okay, come. I feel like that wanted to fall, but I blocked it, so. It needs to fall, it'll find its way again. Person. Okay. This has to do with the inner child. This is deeper than the relationship. It's upside down, which means there is some sort of trauma related to trust and stability that has been severely triggered by the decisions of this marriage. And in order for you to move through this energy, even if this love ends, and I'm not saying that it is or it isn't, even if, you've got to work on what your trigger is with this whole thing at soul level. It's not just what someone says or what someone does, it's what does it trigger. And this is being willing to chart the unknown, to be a little wild about this. Like, F around and find out. Like, you at this point, you honestly don't have anything to lose. You know, you don't have anything to lose per se. Now, I know I'm going above and beyond, but what does your partner need to work on or level up? Oh shit, I cannot make this up. Sexuality. She has to control her sexuality. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying. But this is literally about where she puts her passions and who she's sharing her passions with. Okay? And there's a procrastination energy going on. Procrastinating in what? Procrastinating and taking accountability, not completely owning the choices. Let me just get a little bit more clarity on that, please. What is the procrastination card talking about? Please. And you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. That's coming. What is... These cards are procrastinating. Come on. What is it about? There it is. Okay. Self-sabotage, again. Because it's almost as if the self-sabotage is likely to repeat, and maybe not in the same way, but it's almost as if the effort of the other person still might self-sabotage. And why? Because this person is struggling with self-love. So sometimes, and that is in alignment with the sexuality card, sometimes this person is not feeling very loved in the relationship for whatever reason. And so they took a huge risk and self-sabotage, you know, and they, I just pulled this from the top of the deck, can't make this up. And they have put their sexual energy in other places because they were not being seen, held, and loved as a partner. So if this is an accurate read, I'm not going to say that this person put their love elsewhere and it's the fault of the other partner. But I also say that if you are a partner that is not genuinely giving love, their energy sometimes goes elsewhere. And I'm not justifying that. I'm just saying that there's a means to an end and an ends to a means. So if both parties can own their parts, one cannot punish the other. But if one tries to control the other for lack of trust, that's still punishing. Okay, so sexual arts. It looks like everybody really, really needs to keep their shit in their pants for each other. And just each other. There has to be a intimacy commitment without looking over your shoulder to see if the other person is keeping their end of the bargain. Because when you sit in an energy of no trust, it's really hard to be in a relationship where there is no trust, especially infidelity. Especially infidelity. And I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's freaking work. Because the person who, I don't know, this card reading really feels like somebody cheated on somebody. And honestly, once somebody has shared their energy with somebody else, it's kind of hard to forget. It's just, I don't know. It's like if, let's say someone punched somebody in the face and they were forgiven, that's the potential to still be punched in the face is there. All right, so cycles. The cycle is upside down, which means the cycle of that, lack of trust, lack of being seen, lack of being valued, all the things, that cycle has to end. That cycle has to end. And if the cycle doesn't end, it's going to repeat itself because that's what cycles do. So the infidelity cycle has to stop, but the cycle of not trusting each other would also have to stop. And those are both hard. And the cycles that caused this relationship violation of each other's part in it doesn't mean that we blame one for the other, but that also has to stop. So can the person stop being unfaithful, and can the other person trust that? And otherwise the cycle continues. It just does. And again, it says have faith. But maybe you can't have faith. Maybe you can. I don't know. So I guess it remains to be seen. But it's very interesting how these cards pull and tell information. But honestly, that's how your love life is going. And I did stay in the energy a little bit longer to see if I could find some reasons and some trajectory as well. So hopefully that helps. And remember, this is Vibe Tribe, so send me your questions. Send me your question, I have an answer. But at the end of the day, the love life question is alchemy, meaning even those shittiest circumstances can be burned anew. It's just if both parties actually want it without judgment. It's kind of like the book Crime and Punishment. There was a crime and then there was a punishment, but then there also needs to just not put people on parole eternally. Does that make sense? But if the other keeps trying to push for trust and validation, it just becomes a cycle, and it just becomes more about earning each other's trust back than actually moving forward in a relationship. So if you spend the whole time being each other's warden or parole officer, that's really not a marriage either, or a relationship, whatever this is. Okay, I love you guys. These are great questions. Message me below. Join Vibe Tribe next week. I hope this helps. You guys are amazing. You are loved. All the things. Take care. Bye.